I work for media in Brussels as well, and I'm seeing lots of countries in Europe are starting to look at mandatory conscription, like mandatory military service of some form, be it you have to do it, or there's a Nordic model where people fill out a questionnaire, and ones who are quite likely to be suited for military jobs are then given an offer, basically. Do you think Albania would ever consider something like this? Do you agree with the sort of mandatory service for youth?
In general, I agree not exactly with the terms that we used to have in the past, mandatory service, because the requirements from our forces today is 500 to 600 new recruiters every year. Mm-hmm. And the number of people who are graduated by the high school is only in Albania. I'm not talking abroad, mm-hmm. which is 50% of the total number, is about 17,000. Mm-hmm. So the number in general, so the requirements are very little compared to the numbers, availability of the numbers yes. that we have. But we need to have a kind of engagements mm-hmm. of the people who are graduated from the high school or who have a certain age to be educated with the military culture.
Yes, even a summer school, a mandatory
yes, summer school,
6-week program.
6-week program.
If you need volunteers, my daughter is ready.
You can call it mandatory service, but mm-hmm. it will be a kind of military education as a mandatory, and also it increases some strength in the country, like a military or the coming, let's say, you give the idea, we are not going to live as we lived until now. Mm-hmm. We will have a possibility, let's say the threat is different. They have a different kind of education and discipline. So they are more engaged in the problems in the country or the risk and the threats the country is facing, which makes them more, let's say, cautious of the future.
I think it would be good for all students once they graduate to have, be it 6 weeks, a month, whatever, I'm going to sound like my mother here, to teach them some discipline, some life skills, some survival skills.
Many countries have that, mm-hmm. Let's say, schools, or let's say, you call it schools. Some countries call it mandatory service, mm-hmm. but is not part, let's say, the strength of the people of this contingent is not as a strength of the armed forces. This is just a clear future education.
Yes.
Is not part of the military service.
But then maybe from those people, some of them will want to join.
Sure,
and
they have a kind of education.
Yes.
They have a better idea about mm-hmm. military, and it increases also the perception about military.
Yes.